engineers. Thanks for checking out the Home Recording Network. And since I don't have much out there on mixing female vocals, I decided to make a video. So this is a song called Give It Time by Goodbye Metro. I'll put a little link to them. And they are a rock band with two bass players, and their female singer's got kind of a soft voice. So I figured I'd do a video on how to get a female vocal kind of sitting on top of the mix. So if you watched my last video, you'll know that they have a bass player and then a bass player who kind of plays with some drives. So there's no guitars in this music, and it's very filled out in the mid range. But here's a little sample of what the chorus sounds like.
Why collect the memories that keep us afloat until we're numb and undefined? The start is the hardest part. Hold on, give it time.
Yeah, so if I bypass and bring back in all the plugins on the vocal chain, you're going to see how much I really brighten this puppy up.
Why collect the memories that keep us afloat until we're numb and undefined?
Yeah, so obviously there's a volume bump there, but there's also just some added aggression, which I'm going to show you how to do, and some simple EQ moves. So we started this chain off by going into the New York preamp and then into the distressor, just kind of leveling things off. There's no real added volume here. We're just kind of compressing. And for the distressor, my go-to setting for compression on vocals is the attack at 4, the release at 3. And this just does a good job of taking down the peak. So here's without.
Why collect the memories that keep us afloat?
And with.
Why collect the memories that keep us afloat?
Yeah, so not really any added volume. It just fills out the vocal, especially with the New York preamp on there, saturating her a little bit. And then, like I said, the distressor's just sort of leveling off the vocal and taming down the peaks. Now, typically on a vocal, I will go in with a visual EQ like the Pro Q2 at first for any cutting, and then I'll follow that up with some boosting on an SSL channel. So this is pretty typical for me for a female. So on a male's voice, the high pass filter would be around 100 hertz. But on a female's voice, they don't go down so far in frequency like the males do. So you can usually bring this high pass up to about 150 and roll off any of the low end rumble from the voice.
Why collect the memory that keep us afloat until we're numb and undefined?
Yeah, so there's not much going on below 150. So that's where we bring the filter up to. On a guy's voice, like I said, usually you'll see it going down a bit lower than that. But this little dip out around 300 is kind of the same thing I would do on a guy's voice. This is the muffly frequency I speak of.
Why collect the memories that keep us afloat until we're numb and undefined? This hold on.
Yeah, so that's kind of a nasty frequency on vocals, something that you don't want in the mix, and you can usually bring down a touch. And by cutting there, it's just going to help the singer come across more clear. Same with rolling off all the junk on the low end. This is going to help to sit the singer on top of the mix because all these frequencies aren't going to be fighting with the other instruments that need frequency space in these regions. Now, in terms of boosting here, You're going to see a lot of the same settings that I would typically use on a vocal, like a high shelf at 12K. I'm boosting at 1K down here for some mid range. But something that you won't see me do on a guy too often is this boost at 6K. And this really sounded great on her voice and brightened her up.
Why collect the memories that keep us afloat until we're numb and undefined? The start is the hardest part. Hold on.
So that's going to help our singer stand out. And then this boost around 1K is to bring out a little bit of aggression.
Why collect the memories that keep us afloat until we're numb and undefined? The start is the hardest part. Hold on.
And that frequency area is not something you're ever going to want to boost the hell out of. But again, to add aggression and some grit to the vocal, it's a nice spot to boost at least by a couple dB or so, like I did here. The last plugin I'm going to show you, I'm not going to show you everything I did on this chain because a lot of it's very similar to what I would normally do on a vocal. If you want more information on any of that stuff, you can check out my other videos. But the Devil Lock is a great plugin for bringing your vocal up in the mix a bit. This plugin's pretty cool because you can absolutely destroy a track and smash it, make it sound super distorted, or you can just feather in some subtle distortion. You can use whatever plugin you want for this, whatever distortion plugin you want for this to add grit to your vocals. But what's cool about this one is it's got a distortion knob and a compression knob. And usually I'll just leave the crush and the crunch on one because this, again, it's a very powerful plugin. And then I will just dial up the mix knob a little bit until I'm getting some aggression out of the track. So first what I'll do is I'll show you what this sounds like bypass versus on. It's pretty subtle, but you're going to notice a slight bump in the mid-range.
Why collect the memories that keep us afloat until we're numb and undefined? The start is the hardest part.
Yeah, I hope you can hear that, but I'll show you what this thing can really do.
Why collect the memories that keep us afloat until we're numb and undefined?
Yeah, so you can really smash a track to oblivion with this guy. But what we want to do is just feather in, like I said, dial in a little bit of that crunch so that we can add some distortion, some subtle distortion to the voice. And this is a great way to really beef up a vocal. Maybe if you have a vocal that's a little weak or it seems like it could be filled out more, some distortion or saturation is always great to make the vocal stand out a bit more from the music. Hey guys, if you found this video helpful, be sure to download your free home studio mix guide with your go-to EQ and compression settings for all your tracks. Also, feel free to register for my free online mix training that I hold a couple times a week so you can learn how to make radio quality music from your home without breaking the bank.